Hello and welcome to episode 30 of Things We Play. It's Tuesday the 14th of August. My name is Mike Oldman and I'm joined by Shaun Hart.
Hello.
And Joe Tanessa.
Hello.
Hello, chaps.
Hello.
Again.
And that was like, so I was just, you were saying hello to the audience then, and then I said hello to you, and you were supposed to say hello back to me.
That's what I did. I said hello.
I know, but you hesitated.
Is this like a Bruce Forsyth thing?
It was as though, no, it's, it's just etiquette really, and it was as though Joe didn't want to say hello.
Again, as I've already said it to you
Yeah,
once
but you said
today.
it to the audience.
No, but I've already said it to you
It's all
today as well.
encapsulated.
You've already said to me today, yes, but off air. You know,
Right.
we have conversations off air, but on air, it's as though the off air conversations didn't take place.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
All right, I'm glad we got that sorted. 7 days, 7 wonderful August days have passed. What have you been up to, Joe?
I've been busy this week.
Wow.
Yeah. I've been doing things.
Okay. Why? Why? How? In what capacity?
Oh, I've just been sorting stuff out, things like this. I haven't had much time to myself.
Vague.
Yeah.
Vague. That could be moving bodies from your basement and burying them somewhere. Just sorting some stuff out. There's nothing to worry about. Or it could be painting a room.
Yeah, no, I wasn't painting the room.
Fair enough. Well, so that explains some of the stains on your clothing, anyway. What have you been up to? Been doing? What? Tell me something. Give me something.
I went to the Eastbourne Air Show on
Yeah.
Saturday.
They do that every year.
Yeah.
It feels like that's come around really quickly, but
Yeah, it did. When someone went to me, do you want to come to the Eastbourne Air Show? I was like, has it really been a year already?
yeah. What happens at an Eastbourne Air Show? Are you just watching the red arrows fly over a field of people, or is it like a car show where there's planes everywhere in a field and you get to walk around the planes, or both, or something else?
It's more of planes flying through the sky and the occasional sort of helicopter that's landed, and they have the army have a display going.
The occasional helicopter that's landed.
Yeah.
Not part of the show.
Yeah.
Like people are just flying over, and like Tony, land down there, it'd be awesome. They'll go mental for it, trust me. Like that's. I'm sure there's part of the plane. Do you pay to get in?
No, not this year, but they're thinking about charging next year because they're not raising enough money to keep
It's
it going.
in the sky though, Joe. That's
I know.
the thing. So
I
like,
know.
how do you, unless they put a bubble around the area, like a really big polythene bubble that the planes fly in the middle of, so you can't see it if you're not there.
It's the fact that it's on the seafront as well, so you just can't hide it. But
Okay. Do you see some exciting planes?
yeah, the Vulcan.
The Vulcan. That's like Spock.
No, different Vulcan. It's a Delta Wing bomber. It was used in the Falklands War.
Oh.
It's a giant thing. Makes so much noise when it goes over.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. There are some other interesting bits and pieces there, but the red arrows.
The red arrows used to fly over my house as a child all the time. I seemingly remember. That's probably not the case at all. But they're just planes.
Yeah, no, they weren't there.
They're just red planes. They weren't there.
No. They
No
weren't
red
there.
arrows.
No. They were on the Sunday, I think.
What do
See,
the red arrows do, right? So the red arrows, they fly through the air in formation with coloured smoke coming out the back of them.
They do some pretty impressive stuff. They were here a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And they did stuff like Love Hearts, so two planes go up together.
Okay.
Then they split in the middle, and that's when they start to smoke. And then it kind of they circle back around and past each other to make a heart in the
They
air.
do great fly-by turns with their
So they do like marriage proposals and things like that. So, but do they do anything else? Is that just what they're doing? It's like there's somewhere currently right now, Brian from the Red Arrows flying his plane next to
What
Tony.
do you mean? Is that all they're doing?
Well,
It's pretty impressive fucking shit.
What I mean is that they're not doing missions.
I don't know.
No, they're all ex-military generally.
It seems like they could be doing missions, or they could at least be crop
Not
dusting.
ex-Royal Air Force then.
Yeah, they're ex-Army.
Probably makes more.
Ex-infantry.
So it just seems odd because the Red Arrows, that's expensive, right? The planes are expensive, the training's expensive,
The smoke's expensive.
the insurance is expensive, and it's just so people go, oh yeah,
Yeah, pretty much.
and then they go. That just seems like a weird thing. You'd think you'd have to use them for something else, whether they're training like pink arrows, or whether they're doing bombing runs, or just like say crop dusting seems like a natural thing that they could do quite well. They're just showboating, is what they're doing.
Yeah.
All right.
And they do it very well.
How do you feel about the red arrows, Joe?
I like the red arrows.
You like them? Okay, I've never, I've seen them fly over a house. That's it. I've never seen them do
The stuff that I saw a couple of weeks ago, it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, all right.
Pretty impressive.
Sounds okay. All right. Anything else at the air show? Balloons?
No.
The balloons are balloons. Hot air balloons allowed to go to the air show. Or they sort of like, no, get off. You're not the same as us. It's like fighter pilots going.
You don't ever see hot air balloons there.
No, I was on the beach. I went for a long walk along the beach yesterday. I kind of just left here and just went. Okay, if I go left, I go into town. If I go right, I guess I just walk up the coast. And I thought I'm just going to walk up the coast. And I got to a point where I was in the middle of nowhere. There was just kind of like sandy beach for a start, which was weird, and just sea going off and nothing anywhere. Nothing. That was it. And then all of a sudden, what I presume was James Bond flew above me in like a hang glider with an engine. Are they paragliders? Yeah. Is that what they are? And I was like, what the?
Or microglider.
Yeah, microglider. But it was like you very rarely see that. It was just going on.
No,
this is weird.
It's the seaside and it's summer. You always see microgliders going down the coast.
Doing missions.
Maybe.
Or crop dust.
You don't stop them and ask them.
No, of course not. Because they don't...
License to kill.
No. Yeah, that's true. Can I see your license, please? All right, okay. So, air show, that sounds cool. That sounds like you had a good experience there, Joe. Did you come back with any souvenirs or trophies?
No.
You didn't break anything off a plane?
No.
Like just holding on to a wing.
BMW side.
top of the wing. Just, I'll have that. Yeah, cool.
A propeller.
Me and Luke just done our typical thing where we go to the military tent where they have all the guns that you can faff about with.
You can faff about with guns. What does faffing about with a gun
you
entail?
can just pick them up and things like that.
Did you blindfold Luke while he was topless and time him to rebuild the gun?
Yeah, no, I don't think Luke knows how to dismantle and remount a SA-80, but
okay.
you know.
Do you?
No.
Okay, all right. So you were a bit ambiguous there. Anything else then apart from the air show? You watched anything cool?
No.
No?
Not that I can, nothing that stands out.
All right, that's fine. There's no pressure. You've been busy.
Yep.
You know, you've been busy. The bodies, like I say, they're not going to get up and walk away, are they?
Not going to move themselves.
Exactly. That's fine. What about you, Sean? Have you been up to much?
Yeah, I've been up to various bits and pieces. Been to a wedding, which I'm still not wholly recovered from. There was a lot of drinking of Cava and Prosecco. So I think I'm still feeling the effects 3 days after drinking.
Yeah.
I'm not a big drinker anymore.
Evidently.
No.
Evidently.
I think they'll make it 3 days this year you'll drink.
Was it family wedding or friend?
Family.
Family.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was good. Had a good time.
Right.
Nice to be back in London.
Yeah. What was it like up there? Things changed?
Yeah, well, things change, but they stay the same, don't they?
You saw a funny estate agents.
NWA.
NWA estate agents. So, like, I'm not sure I'd get the best deal from that place. But that's quite cool,
yeah.
I guess.
I was just ashamed that my camera battery was dead, so I couldn't take a photo.
That's kind of amazing, though. Where was that?
I don't know. It was somewhere between Islington Town Hall and Danny's mum's house.
Okay.
Just northwest London. NWA estate agents, check them out. They got some good deals.
Fair enough. They got to be doing something with themselves now, you know.
Well, Dre's still making
exactly,
track.
but not everyone went on to.
Yeah, I think Ice Cube's kicking his heels a bit. So there you go.
He's showing people around one-bedroom flats. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, I've watched pretty much all of the available episodes of Ultimate Spider-Man.
Yeah, you've been going on about this, Ultimate Spider-Man. So I can't keep up with the amount of cartoons there are, especially Spider-Man cartoons.
Yeah, they do knock them out.
This one's newish?
Yeah, it's still playing now. It's still running.
Okay.
So it's kind of midway through the season. It's not bad. It's kind of very along the lines of Avatar, actually. It's quite tongue-in-cheek.
Okay.
Where it's based on the Ultimate Universe. Spider-Man's still 15 or something. And so it's him training with S.H.I.E.L.D. under the watchful eye of Nick Fury. No pun intended. And he's got a team of Luke Cage, Nova, White Tiger, and somebody else. Can't remember who.
The Avengers that no one knows.
Luke Cage is part of the main canon now for the new Avengers. He was team leader during Civil War. So he's been around since.
These are bear in mind, Sean's talking about different Avengers to the Avengers that we know.
Yeah,
we're in movie land.
Yeah,
I have read Civil War, so I do know about Luke Cage.
Avengers is a lot of characters have been in Avengers.
So is this I'm getting CGI sort of stuff?
No. It's straight animation.
Oh, okay.
It's on one of the Disney channels.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. It's worth checking out.
I will not do that. There's no point in me saying I'm gonna. I'm never gonna get time to do that. But that's fine. That's fair enough. I watched Battleship.
Yeah, you said.
Yeah. I watched it because Joe told me to watch it. Even though Joe spoke about it on the show and said, I think Joe said it was all right.
Joe thinks it's the greatest movie ever made.
I don't think it's the greatest movie ever.
But you did
I
say
just
to
like
me,
it.
I said to you, I'm probably going to watch Battleship, and you were like, yeah, you should, it's brilliant, or something like that.
I like it.
It's bloody awful.
Yeah, well.
It's really bad. It's by far the worst of the Transformers movies. It's not got anything to do with anything. I don't know. It's such a... I couldn't believe... I remember looking at the time code while I was watching it, and 2 minutes and 36 seconds into the movie, I thought, this is the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen in my life. And it's just because of that whole sort of space message, planets thing. And I'm like, this is not what I wanted from this movie. And it's simple. What I wanted from this movie was I wanted 2 minimum battleships in the sea shooting at each other. That's it. That's all I wanted. I don't even get that from the movie.
You just wanted the Falkland Wars.
Basically. And instead you get this weird, I don't know, it's strange, it's Rihanna's in there for no reason whatsoever. The aliens for a start, it's just weird. Look like Transformers, but with slightly different colours on each one, like the Centurions. It's like a yellow one, a red one, and a green one.
They sort of look more like Metal Gear as well.
Do they?
Yeah, they do.
I think you want them to.
I think he's thinking Metal Gear Ray.
Yeah. And then on the island, there's kind of nothing going on the island. There's just that woman and the dude with no legs. The dude with the robot legs.
Yeah, I know the one you mean.
And it's just like... And that's kind of like tugging at your heartstrings. I'm like, no. Like, he's like kind of part robot type of thing. It's kind of doing that whole like... He's not part robot.
He can empathise.
He's just got like Chell portal legs,
He can empathise with the aliens that are trying to kill everyone.
Yeah, it's just... It was terrible, Joe.
It was awesome.
It was really bad.
It was so ridiculous that it was awesome.
What I hate about it is, like, no, think about it now. It's as bad as you would expect a movie based on Battleship to be, right? Except for somehow I went into that movie not expecting it to be that bad.
Well, we have different tastes.
I think there is an important lesson for everybody here.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Well, there is one. There is one. Mail us, thingsweplay@gmail.com if you can find that. All right, well... Games came back last week. They made a triumphant return with Resident 2.
Yeah, and then left us hanging for a week. There was nothing out last Friday.
No, true, but we've played some games. There was Hybrid.
That wasn't... Yeah, well...
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about some games. And in fact, let's talk about Hybrid. Let's go in with Hybrid. Hybrid was last week's Summer of Arcade title, wasn't it? Fifth Cell shooter. Slightly weird shooter. Which... I really like. I actually do really like this. Joe, you've played it. Shaun, you haven't had a chance to really get on. We should probably sort of preface this with the news of the cock-up that happened with regards to Hybrid. So Hybrid launched. I got it, and I was like, yeah, cool, Hybrid. And I played it for a bit, and then by the time I was talking about it and going, Hybrid was awesome, there was just news reports all over the internet of it being pulled from Xbox Live. So, as far as I'm aware, there was some sort of issue with the game. I think it was a server issue, but I'm not entirely sure. But they were fixing that, or they were fixing something, and then they found this server issue. And so they closed the servers off, and then they pulled the game entirely from Xbox Live Arcade. So you just couldn't get it, which is not the greatest thing you want on your launch day.
No.
In fairness. It did later then come back up, but not without its issues. You couldn't get a game at all, could you, Joe?
Yeah, I managed to get through the tutorial, and I just couldn't... There were games going, but there were so few people... And so few games, it was just hard for me to get in. The only ones I could find are in like North America.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting. That really seems to show, if that's the case, that this really did have a big effect on the game because people just hadn't gone back to it by the time you were going back to it. And that was like a day after maybe, or
yeah, it was the next day or the
And yet weirdly, I got on first time and I was like, yeah, I'm having fun. It's kind of cool. So that's a shame. I imagine the Fifth Cell guys aren't particularly happy about that. And it seemed like really shocking for it to be completely removed from...
Yeah.
To stop even buying it. But you can't do anything. As you guys know, you can't do anything without the online stuff. That is all there is. Yeah. So yeah. I really liked it though. I thought it was kind of cool. It's interesting the way it plays in that you don't have free movement of your character.
Yeah, it's all just like cover.
Yeah, exactly. And so the way you're moving through the levels is you're literally pointing at the next bit of cover you want to go to, hit the A button, and he'll hover over there automatically. And you do have the option to stop that and come back.
Right, okay.
But that's pretty much all your movement is. You can move around within that constraints.
And
so
speed up.
So while you're locked on that path, you can angle that path and move it around, but you're always moving forwards.
Right. Or halfway through you can, if you look to another bit, you can switch.
Yeah, you can choose a new place to go to, which is an odd way of doing it. Apparently, originally it wasn't like that. you did have free movement. You could run around on the ground and stuff, but you can't do it at all. You're always sticking to cover. And then when you're on cover, you can like move left and right of it or go over to the other side of it, but you can't freely move.
That's strange.
Which is a really odd way of playing a shooter. But it kind of works. It's not the game. It's not the sort of game where you want to just go barging into people. You kind of want to hang back and pick people off from cover. And you get different perks for each amount of kills you get. You get 1 kill, you get like a little robot that goes and scouts stuff. You get 2 kills, you get like a robot with guns that kind of helps you. And then 3, I think, you get the like predator thing with the sword.
Yeah, it's like the one with the giant sword that homes in.
So it was, it's an interesting game. It kind of, and because of the moving to cover and you're not really controlling it, you can go to cover that's on the side of a wall or upside down on the ceiling or anything, and you're just constantly peeping around. Oh yeah, I really enjoyed it. I
like what they've tried to do with it. So because it's all about the 2 different warring sides fighting against each other. So it's the humans and the robots.
Yeah.
And what it does, as soon as you fire up, you do log in, and it comes up with the 2 factions. And what it will do is it will offer you a bonus for going to a faction that has less number of players. So trying to balance it out is offering you points. But to be on the same faction as you, Mike, I had to ignore the extra 5 levels it was offering me.
Oh, really? No,
Yeah.
so I was on the robot faction.
Yeah.
And the reason for that was because it was offering me an incentive to go on the robot faction.
Yeah, and it was offering me an incentive to go on the human side, but,
Okay.
I didn't really want to...
Yeah, that bit's really cool, because you've got a persistent world over the whole thing. It's you've got this persistent world map that is telling you about this battle that's going on between humans and the robots, and then each game contributes to that. So you can I presume so. You can presumably win the war at some point.
Yeah, it does have seasons.
Okay.
The way it plays out is when one team wins the season, what it will do is it will give gold crowns to everyone on that team, and then
you get like hats to wear, don't you?
Yeah,
so you get like gold crowns, and you
hats,
get like you can get like paper bags for the losing team that they can choose to wear. There's also weirdly there's Minecraft. There's a creeper hat.
Is there?
In it that you can customize your thing with. There's a lot of Summer of Arcade crossover shit going on this year. And so I thought that was kind of interesting. So Hybrid was cool. It's a shame that it got dogged with all these problems, because it was different enough for me to like. And in multiplayer shooters, that's kind of really hard to get anything that's going to compete with anything that's out there already. But it was kind of different. Yeah,
it did have a good solid idea behind it. It would have just been better if it succeeded more than it did. I will go back to it and try and actually get into a game and try and play some multiplayer. Hopefully there's more games out there now.
I can see it being a game that I think will have a bit of a following, so I think there will be people playing it for a while, but I can also see it being a game that not many people like. It's weird not being able to move around freely and happily and pleasantly and stuff. But Hybrid, man, check it, yo. Let's talk about another game. What game do you want to talk about? You've both played Risen 2 again, some more.
Yeah, I've played it more than Joe's played it.
Yeah, I went back and I managed to double my time. I've got to 2 hours in.
Okay, so it's grabbing you quite well then.
Yeah, to the point where I just want rid of it now.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
After 2 hours, it just hasn't captured me at all. It's getting better. I could see why people would enjoy it, but yeah, it's just not holding me at all.
Yeah, I mean, with the combat, it's you can kind of see what they've gone for with sword fighting.
Yeah.
But it only works if you're fighting against one other enemy who has a sword. So you get kind of very cinematic, epic sword fights. It's like you one pirate against another one pirate. As soon as another person is in the mix or another creature is in the mix, that goes out the window because you're just getting attacked from the side constantly.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it. I did get in a battle where there was one guy with a sword and 2 guys with spears. So it's like I'm constantly trying to maneuver the guy that I'm fighting with my sword against the 2 people throwing spears at me in the hope that it will hit him instead of me.
I don't know if it even has...
No, it just goes straight through them. It still carries on at you.
I don't think it has friendly fire.
So how are you feeling about this now? Do you still love it? Because you loved it last week.
Yeah, I'm still pretty much enjoying it. I'm skipping a lot more dialogue now. I'm not kind of into the dialogue that much anymore. It is funny in places and it makes you chuckle. And it's not like it makes you laugh out loud, but it does make you kind of giggle to yourself every once in a while. I just want to see the end at this point. I don't know why, because the cutscenes are shit. The one cutscene that was supposed to be any sort of emotional tie to it, where your captain dies and you take over, there's no like music to it,
right?
And it took a while for the textures to kick in and stuff. So he was just like a shapeless blob floating in midair.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. That's something I will be very happy to leave behind.
And
new consoles.
You got to remember, this. I've had to install it to my hard drive because I was having problems with the audio before. So it's running off my hard drive and giving me these sorts of graphical problems.
Sure.
I mean, it's in terms of production, it's quite shoddy, but it is quite endearing at the same time once you get into it.
I can see why people would enjoy it. I just, it has too many flaws for me to actually be captured by it at this point. There's so many other good-looking RPGs out there that I'd rather play than Risen.
Yeah, I think that's kind of it, isn't it? It's like you've got a lot of options if you're an RPG player. And I suppose if you're hardcore about it, you've played them all anyway.
Yeah.
And so this is what you're left with, and that's probably why you're playing it. But if you're not, if you're going in sort of cold, you can do better than this.
Yeah, certainly.
If it's just the pirate theme you're after, then
the pirate theme is a nice angle. I mean, it's weird because I don't like cowboys and I don't particularly like pirates. I was never interested in that sort of stuff when I was a kid. But yeah, I loved fucking Red Dead Redemption, and I thought I was going to hate it. And I bought it because again, it came out when there's fuck all else out, and I was preaching that game hard when it first came out because I just loved it so much. I love lassoing people and dragging them behind me on my horse.
because you love cowboys.
Awesome. I don't.
That's basically it.
I just love that one achievement it has, which is dastardly. So you just hog tie a woman and leave her on the tracks for the train.
Yeah.
Such a cool achievement, but.
And again, I'm where I say I'm not very interested in pirates. I'm enjoying being a pirate captain, and it's like I am playing as a pirate. I'm not playing as a Inquisition agent pretending to be a pirate. I'm playing as a pirate. So literally, I'll rob every guy that I meet. Because the pickpocket's like a crappy option as well because it's in dialogue. You don't sneak up behind someone like in Fallout
Creed or
and stuff,
something like that, yeah,
and take the money out of their pocket. It's a dialogue option, so it's not available for every character. But every character is available with whether I'm helping them or fighting against them, I'm robbing them.
This is your charge for your service.
Exactamundo.
Fair enough. Okay, yeah, we'll see if you guys if it's back on your lists next week. Then
like I say, I'm pushing to finish it before Sleeping Dogs because I don't think it'll get a look in once Sleeping Dogs is out.
I'm not gonna play it at all. I'm just gonna get rid of it on Friday for Sleeping Dogs.
Okay, so Sleeping Dogs, then we should probably have a bit of a word about. It's out this Friday.
Yeah,
it's looking good.
Yeah,
I'm still slightly cautious of this game because the more I keep seeing online, I keep seeing different ways of playing it. This sort of detective mode stuff and the triangulating positions of your enemies with the mobile phone stuff that you have to do. Seems to be a lot more sort of, I don't know,
Watchdog.
Yeah, there is some Watchdog sort of stuff. Whereas I kind of just want to run around into scenes, kick people in the face, and throw them through trash cans and stuff. You don't get guns in that game. That's what there's people been a bit sort of iffy about. Although you get guns, they're kind of single use.
Yeah.
You never get to hold on to a gun and carry around with you and have your own thing. It's more about the melee stuff.
Yeah, it's like their progression of combat, ain't it? So every mission sort of starts off as handheld, and at some point you may run across someone who's got a gun. You take them down, and then more people start appearing with guns.
Yeah.
But it does focus on that. It does look like it's got a very good combat system in there. For
Yeah, well,
fighting.
so I learned as well the other day that Rocksteady guys consulted on it.
All right.
With Square Enix London Studios to get their combat going. So yeah, there was definitely a Batman involved. It looks cool. They announced all the stuff for the PC version. Did you guys see that?
No.
Similar to what we did with Just Cause 2, where it was the Superfly version on the PC. They've done it for Sleeping Dogs as well. So it's got some seriously high-end specifications and added effects, and it looks gorgeous on the PC. Like that is the way. If you're lucky enough to be in a position where you can play that game on your PC, you should, because that looks like the way to do it. So it's cool. Yeah, it's out Friday, man. They've promised 6 months worth of DLC.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, the first one's like retro triad outfits or something along those lines.
And there's the Just Cause 2 bonus as well, isn't it? So if you've got Just Cause 2, you get Rico's outfit in Sleeping Dogs.
Oh, nice.
But Square have got some weird deal going on with Valve at the moment, because there's a Team Fortress 2 level that came out, I think, a couple of days ago that is Sleeping Dogs based. It's like a Hong Kong City Streets level.
Okay.
And there was something to do with, I think, hats and things. So there's weird crossover stuff going on there, which seems to be happening all the time these days. But
yeah,
Sleeping Dogs will be tight. We'll be talking about that big time next step, I believe.
Aye.
So what else did we play? We played some Soul Calibur 5. Me and you, Sean.
Yeah.
Just only casually, couple of bouts.
Yeah, it's really good fun.
It was actually really good fun. I've never really played Soul Calibur 5 before. I've only played it once. I had a brief bash, but I'm not into these games at all.
No, I don't like 3D kind of Namco fighting
Yeah,
games.
yeah. I remember I liked
I don't
Soul
like
Calibur on
Tekken
Dreamcast. I loved, but that was back then, and
Yeah.
things have changed now, you know. And that was mainly because I was blown away by how good it looked on my VGA monitor with its cable, you know. But this was damn good fun.
Yeah.
Just mashing a truckload of buttons into each other. What I will say about it is, because it's not a great deal to say now about this game, but the character customization's awesome.
Yeah, I've seen some pretty mental stuff.
It's freaking,
done in
it's
it.
crazy. What, I was playing as the Hulk.
Yeah, with an afro.
The Hulk with an afro. Does the Hulk ever get better than that? You know, I suppose the Hulk with 2 afros. But yeah, that was kind of cool. It has Ezio in it.
Yeah, you played the Shredder quite a lot as well.
Shredder, yeah, Shredder, man. And actually, Shredder was able to be made pretty damn well.
He was quite close.
I'm
to
just
looking
shocked at the level of customization you've got over the characters for a beat 'em up, because we've never really had that before.
No, wrestling's always had it. Wrestling
Yeah,
games have always
that's
had
true.
that ability.
So it's kind of weird that these never have.
It's good that it's finally kind of ported over into mainstream fighters.
I always, to be honest, I actually quite like it in wrestling games as well. I always like that and editing my entrance. I was kind of more into that than anything, you know? But like, yeah, I've made a dude that looks badass, and then there's like, you know, you're controlling pyrotechnics. It's like, at that point, it's just sort of like, well, you just want to go into the line of work of being some sort of pyrotechnician, right? You know?
Pyrotechnic Simulator.
Yeah, coming soon from our good friends at Excalibur Publishing. Okay. Yeah, Soul Calibur 5, I was quite impressed.
Yeah, it was quite funny. I wouldn't go out and buy it.
No.
But
It's one of those games.
Party games.
It's weird if you're not
It's
into
very
fighting
funny.
games, which I'm not, and I enjoy a bit of Street Fighter every now and then. But even if Street Fighter 4, the latest whatever Super Edition thingy, is like £7, I'm not going to buy it. You know, it's like Soul Calibur 5. What price does Soul Calibur 5 have to be to get you to buy it?
$2.99.
$2.99. Yeah, I think that's it. That's the price. That's the
And
magic
then
price.
I probably wouldn't play it until someone came round to my house anyway.
And then
We'll
play it
it
once.
single
That's it.
player.
I'd make a character, and that's it. Yeah, $2.99 magic price. What about you, Joe?
No, don't do fighting games at all.
Don't do fighting games at all. There we go.
He just gets angry and walks out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm terrible at them.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I did
Joe
forget.
Sulk.
I did.
Don't sulk, I just know I can't play
I
them,
did
so
forget
avoid
about the way you handle situations like that sometimes in competitive environments.
them. Hey, no, in like first-person shooters, third-person shooters, things like that, I'm alright.
As long as it's not Halo.
Yeah, Halo, you know.
So as long as you're winning, you're all right. Well, what else you played, Joe? What else have you been playing?
I went and done the Transformers demo after the discussion that you two had yesterday. I finally got around to do it yesterday, last week. I finally got around to playing it.
Yeah, I actually put some more time into it. I played the multiplayer part. What do you think of the demo, just first of all?
The demo is really good. It does look very slick, that game itself, and I don't know, the whole transforming into vehicles, especially the Decepticon level where you're like the plane, the helicopter, it just seemed really shoddy. I don't know why. It just seemed really bad, that section. The game itself, just like the third-person shooter aspects of it, it's really well made, and
I think it's totally serviceable. I really didn't like War for Cybertron, but this seems really great. It looks just so slick. I can't believe how slick it is. And for me, I've never been a massive Transformers fan, or if I was, it was years ago, and I've not followed any of the cartoons or comics or anything that's happened since. Seen obviously the new movies and hate those, but I kind of cared about the story a little bit. You know, it's why that emotional video of Prime carrying Bumblebee and you know all that was. I kind of like that. So I'm sort of sold on it. I did try out the multiplayer though, and that was interesting because I remember when War for Cybertron came out, a lot of people were going a bit nuts for the multiplayer. And so I thought, yeah, I'll give this a go. And I didn't like War for Cybertron, didn't like the multiplayer. I actually really got into this. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, no, I played the multiplayer as well on the demo, and I just didn't like it.
I liked the customization again. Because you like building robots, man.
Yeah.
Building robots. You're like, I want a different weapon here, choosing what he transforms into. And I just kept hitting the button that just transformed him over and over again because it was kind of awesome. So yeah, that was kind of cool. The multiplayer was just third-person Halo, right?
Yeah, it was very generic and very poor.
I mean, I've never really liked the environments because they're all Cybertron-like, and so it's like, well, that looks like
The last two environments.
Yeah.
In a slightly different shade.
It just seemed to be metal chunks everywhere.
Yeah. But my biggest issue was with the movement of the
So slow.
of the things. I guess they were. The basic walking speed is kind of slow. I didn't have so much of a problem with that as I had a problem with the incredible assortment of options you have with moving around.
Yeah.
So if you're a standard walking robot, like a car-based robot, not one of the flying ones, You've got walk forwards, which is fairly slow. You can then do a dash move while you're in robot form, which is your second movement form, yeah? Then I can transform into a car, okay? Third movement form, it goes at a certain speed. But the car is really weird. It's kind of hovering off the ground, yeah, at this point. So if I want to go faster, I can then put my wheels on the ground and I go even faster. Fourth movement speed. Then, on top of that, I can turbo if I want as a fifth movement speed. There's 5 different options just by moving around. And what really bugged me more than anything is that whenever I change into a vehicle, I want to be a vehicle. I want the tyres to hit the ground and I want to just go as fast as possible. I'm doing it because I'm pissed off about the fact, what you mentioned, Joe, of I'm moving too slowly as a robot. So don't have me hover weirdly off the ground and then have to hold a button at all times in order to put my wheels down and go faster. Turns out if you want to turbo boost somewhere, I'm holding down up to move forwards on the joypad, on the stick. Left bumper or whatever is to turn into, or
to put your wheels down.
To put my wheels down, yeah. And then like
right
right bumper
trigger.
Trigger to turbo. And it's just like, that's 3 buttons just for movement. And really limits you as to what else you can do. You kind of don't need that first hovering fucking vehicle thing.
Yeah.
It seemed just really sort of superfluous to what was necessary. But
that's it.
That was my only gripe with it, really. I'm excited for the game and I will pick it up. It's out in like a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I'm not completely sold on the game.
They're robots in disguise, Joe. In disguise as robots now. That's the thing. That's what gets me. Robots in disguise as robots. Transformers. Coming soon.
But, yeah, I'll rent it. I'm not buying.
Alright. Well, let's see. I'm curious for it.
I'll probably play it in some form.
I want Gen 1 Prime so bad, it's unreal. Like, really badly.
They'll probably sell it to you as DLC at some point.
Yeah. Damn straight they will, Joe. Damn straight they will. This reminds me of another thing, actually, of just a YouTube video I saw yesterday, which was of thinking about the wheels hovering off the car. At some sporting event, I don't know, it's an American sporting event, that means it's probably either American football or baseball or something. It was by like a bay, and a dude went out in the bay in his boat. Right. Okay, while they were filming it. It was like live camera footage from the event. Except for his boat was a freaking DeLorean.
Oh, nice.
So it was a DeLorean. It was a boat modified to look like a DeLorean with the wheels turned up sideways as though it was hovering with a blue light underneath it. And he just sort of surfed around. He was dressed as Marty McFly and just sort of surfed around the bay while loads of people were just going berserk for it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It was really cool.
I keep seeing a DeLorean just round the corner from where I live. It parks in the road just round the corner.
It's for sale.
Is it for sale? Yeah. I just keep seeing it every so often as I walk past.
Nice. Does it have a Mr. Fusion on the back?
It doesn't. No.
Then don't buy it.
It's just a slightly old, dodgy DeLorean that's just parked there.
Oh, right. Does it have cocaine stashed in the sides?
No, because I haven't been inside of it, so might do.
No, wasn't that the issue with the DeLorean?
Yeah, they were the guy that invented them was smuggling coke out of Ireland or into Ireland or something.
One
in
of the
DeLoreans.
In DeLoreans.
And the Irish government gave him all the money to set up the company in the first place.
Very strange. I played some Lego Batman 2.
Yeah.
Briefly. Just because you guys were raving about it, obviously, and everyone's been going...
And of course you thought it was fucking awesome.
No, I didn't.
What?
So first of all, because I'd played the demo, that opening level I hate.
Yeah.
It's really long, yeah, and you get to fight like pretty much all the villains.
Yeah.
So I didn't really like that. I just wanted to get to the open world bit because I really wanted to see those bits.
Yeah.
First of all, the open world bit came too late. Second of all, the open world bit was not as open world as I wanted it to be. It's just
a
like,
hub.
Yeah.
It's not an open world.
No, it's not an open world at all. And it's not as exciting as I wanted it to be. In any way, shape or form.
You can go around and collect kind of gold bricks and save people and stuff, but it's not like you're having massive fights on top of buildings or anything like that.
So I was just kind of depressed.
Though you can have massive fights on top of buildings.
I was just kind of depressed when I played it. Because whenever I went into the open world bit, the bit I wanted, I was just driving to sections that I didn't want to go into. Those stupid side-scrolling levels where I'm building things. Like, no, not interested at all. What I will say for it, which I thought was particularly cool, is the cutscenes are amazing.
Yeah, they are
They are absolutely amazing.
And do you not think that the voice acting adds to the humour?
Yeah, the voice acting's really good. Yeah, exactly. Them talking, you need it.
It's a lot funnier than just the nods and winks and stuff.
I don't know how it would work with everything, but it just... Superman was so cool. He was such an arrogant prick when he turns up at the first time, and I just thought that was awesome. And the way that Batman just really doesn't want him to be around was great.
I just love the way Robin is such a fanboy to Superman.
Yeah. So that all of that I thought was bang on the money, and I'd love to watch something.
Yeah, just like the Justice League Lego movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
I would totally watch that. But the game, no, it didn't sell to me. It's still too much of a Lego game. I still need a fully open world game. I still thought it looked cool. With when you're tooling around in the open world bit, it looks awesome. The Batmobile looks brilliant. But other than that, I'm not interested in the suit mechanics and the building stuff and having to constantly change or play as characters I don't want to play as.
Sure.
You just want your 360 version of Lego City Undercover.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so another game then that we've been playing, and I say game, I use the term very loosely for this one. But it's something that came out a while ago, and I remember seeing it, and then it's for some reason resurfaced now, and everyone seems to be talking about it. And that's Slender on the PC. To give a bit of context in this game is almost to ruin it, but we'll do the best we can. Everyone should go and play Slender for a start, because it's an experience that needs to be had. Slender is a horror first-person game, I guess.
Yep.
It's only like it's not really a beta or an alpha. It's kind of like almost a proof of concept, just that some guys made to kind of go, look, this is what I can do to you, and the premise is you're walking around a forest, right? It's just you alone walking around a forest with a torch. At night you can't see anything, and you're told at the beginning to collect 8 manuscript pages, and that's it, and that's all that happens.
Yeah, that's the game in itself.
That's it. That's Slender. Except for that's not the case, is it, Joe?
No.
Do you want to tell us your experience, Joe?
Well, my experience wasn't very pleasant. I think the first thing I said back to you after telling me to play it was, fuck you and fuck this game.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, the whole game revolves around Slender Man as well, which is that whole internet thing of a guy in a suit with no face.
Yeah.
So you're just wandering around trying to find these manuscripts, and as soon as you pick up that first one, the music kicks in, and you know there's something out there that wants you. So you're wandering around trying to find these pages, and then, it's the first time you see him out the corner of your eye next to a tree. You're just like, I don't want to play this game anymore,
That's freaky. So you're walking around the forest. At first, you just hear the forest, yeah? You're just hearing the sounds of nighttime. And then you walk around, you get your first manuscript page, and it starts going... And you're like, well, that's awesome. Thanks. Thanks for that. And you don't see anything for a while, and your torch doesn't really light very much. And because you're just walking around aimlessly, there's kind of like areas where there'll be a page. Yeah, there's like a big tree or a rock or a building or a car or something, like clearly defined points for you to explore. The rest is just woods, and these points are connected by pathways. But as you get lost or wander around and walk through the woods, you're moving through the trees, and you can just see a little bit. Every now and then, when you turn around or something, you might just see the Slender Man.
Yeah.
And he's there, and he'll be quite far away from you, and it's like, fuck! And it's that instant, jump of, oh my god, there's a person there. That was not good.
You instantly turn and start running in the opposite direction.
Turn around, you can run for a limited time, can't you? And that's kind of it. And as you pick up more pages, the effects that it adds into the game to create tension and scare you get greater. And the Slender Man has a higher risk of catching you, I guess. So the music gets slightly more intense, or the subtle ambience gets more intense.
The fog starts to become thicker, and
your torch starts to not work properly, and more frequently when you're turning round, ding, you get like orchestral strings, don't you? They go ding when he's there, and you're like, oh fucking, what do you do that? And sometimes it does that when he's not there, which is also a wonderful technique. And you mustn't look at him.
No.
If you look at him, TV snow and static starts to come over the screen, and it starts to kill you.
Yeah.
So you're constantly running away. But you get in those scary situations where you found him, you've seen him, and you're like, look at him, and then you look away, and then when you look back, he's closer.
Yeah.
And then you look away again, and you look back again, he's right in front of you, and it's like, oh my god, this is horrific.
It was like, the worst part is when you're walking around, and then you start getting the static and the noise, and you're just like, where the fuck is he? I can't see him.
Yeah.
And it was like one of the first couple of times I was playing it, I'd done that, and I turned around, and he's right fucking behind me.
It's horrible. Yeah. And there's no combat in it. You don't fight him. You just got to stay away from him and not look at him. All you can do is run and move your torch around. And turn your torch off, actually. You can turn your torch off. And that's it. You don't do anything else. It's like a 50 meg download. It's tiny. But it's crazy.
The level of suspense it keeps you at the entire time. You're playing, and the more you play, the less you want to be doing this. So you just want to turn it off and be done with it.
Well, and that's exactly what I did. I've played it twice now, and the first time I played it just at home in broad daylight on my laptop. no, nothing, no headphones, no nothing. Just like I'm just gonna play it. And I didn't get caught. I just turned it off. I got 3 pages, and then I got too weirded out and too scared. I was like, I'm turning it off. That's it. I just can't do it. And it's, if you played this at midnight on your own in a dark room with headphones on, you'd kill yourself.
Yeah, it wouldn't be good.
It's really freaking horrific game. It's not a game. It's just horror. It's just torture. And we found out today that well, actually, let's not say what happens when you collect all the 8 pages, because that would ruin it. But we now know. So yeah, Slender, an experience and a half.
It is so worth playing just to see what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. It's really interesting, and a lot of techniques that aren't used in horror games. Think of any horror games that you've played. They're not as scary, not even close. No Resident Evil's come close to that. Dead Space didn't come close to that. Horror games as such this really focuses on proper horror, less on gameplay and more on horror, and it works.
I think it's just because there's nothing you can do about it. You know he's coming, you've got no way to defend yourself.
Yeah.
So you're just constantly trying to get away.
And it's just creepy, man. It's just a dude in the woods.
In a suit.
Yeah. Long, thin dude in the woods with no face. The model of him is terrible. He's not scary at all.
It's
that. He's not scary. If I saw a picture of that now, it wouldn't scare me. It's when I'm walking around the woods and I'm hearing all this noise, and suddenly he's just there between 2 trees, and you're like, oh, gee, it's the same feeling you get when someone sneaks up on you at home. And you don't see them come into the kitchen, and you're like, Jesus, I didn't see you were there. It's just that, except for you get that initial jump, and then you go, oh God, that's not my sister or my mother or my brother or anyone like that. That's just, I don't know who that is. If someone just appeared in front of you, that's what they would be like. So, yeah, play Slender. Scary. Scary ass game.
Not good.
But that does lead us on to an Xbox Live indie game that we played, which we all played last night, which is not very similar, but it sort of is a little bit. And it's called The Fourth Wall. It came out last week. And this is a weird game. The reason why I wanted to talk about this more than anything is because it's 2.3 megabytes large. It's like the tiniest game ever to download on your 360, and it lasts for ages. How to explain this? You're in like a black space, completely dark space. There's like an orange Tron floor.
Yeah.
Of lights, and then there's 3 walls in front of you: a white wall, a TV static wall, and a black wall.
Yeah.
And like a weird dangly worm thing hanging from the top.
Penis.
Yeah, that bleeds stuff often onto the floor.
Or initially it doesn't. It's just hanging there. And I started to walk towards the black wall, and then I noticed there's arrows on the floor pointing me in the opposite direction. So I went in that direction and just kept walking. And you kind of walk off into the blackness, and I ended up in a series of rooms which were with black and white writing, and so all the walls said wall on them, the ceiling says ceiling on it, the floor says floor on it, and there's a door, it says door on it. So I went through the door and it says you, and again it's got the pattern is repeated inside that, and I turned around and there was a door facing that door, and on that door it says door again. I walked through that door and it says die. And then I came out and turned in a different direction, and then I ended up in space, and there's eyeballs looking at me.
Oh yeah.
And I couldn't tell which way was up or down. And then I found a white light, and I moved towards that, and it had a black dot in the centre, and that kind of got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I fell out of the sky in the initial room that you start in, and it made a hole in the floor, and then blood was spraying out of the worm thing, and nothing else was happening. Yeah. And I was like, am I dead?
It's the weirdest thing.
Am I still alive?
But
do you want me to do more?
All the audio is really echoey and stuff, and you hear your character breathe all the time.
Yeah, see, I didn't have audio on because Danny was watching True Blood.
Yeah, the audio is what makes it freaky. I had a weird experience where I went to the TV static wall.
Yeah.
And I kind of went around the back of it, and then I could walk into it. And I walked into a maze where the floor, ceiling, and walls were all made of the TV static texture, going and I was like, oh my God, how am I going to get out of here? And the noise was getting on my nerves so much. And I was going through it. And then I was just walking through it, and it stopped. And it was an awesome effect. The TV static just froze.
Yeah.
And the sound went out, and all the pixels just went, and you're like, that's kind of creepy. And then eventually got out of that, and eventually went through similar paths that you went through, Sean. Did you get that high pitch? Oh, you didn't have sound. Did you get the high pitched like noise at yours?
No.
Like a dog whistle, but like just about audible that slowly was making my ears bleed. No, I think it was during the eyeball section.
Right.
That game is weird.
It is. It was like you were saying on the first section where you like walk towards the black wall and it moves away, but you have to go in the opposite direction. I was walking backwards and looking at the black wall, and it was coming at me as I was going backwards.
Oh, really?
And it's like it comes closer and closer the further you go. So that's what takes you and moves you into the next section. I was like, it was about a foot from my character. And I was like, do I really want to do this? Is it the right thing to do? And yeah, then you end up in that weird room with all the stuff and the eyeballs and the. As soon as that worm thing started bleeding, I was like, do you know what, this game's just bizarre.
It's just, I can't figure out how it works, whether you go through a series, where it just takes you automatically through a series of different things, or what's triggering something. It's just weird. But I found it interesting, but like I don't even know what you're supposed to be doing. Like it's just the fourth wall, people. Xbox Live indie game. You know, it's
slightly mad.
Interesting, if nothing else.
Yeah, it's not as frightening as Slender, but it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable gaming.
Yeah, certainly.
So yeah, uncomfortable gaming. That's probably what this episode's going to be called. All right. Well, should we take a break?
Aye.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. We're gonna play some great music now for this little break time. This is actually from an Australian advert in the 90s. Believe it or not, like, as if you can't tell that from the music you're about to hear. For Atari, and I thought it was awesome. So here it is.
What do you want? What do you think? What do you want? I want the latest games anywhere. What do you want? I want the sounds that curl my hair. What do you want? 7800s everywhere. What do you want? I want Atari. I do. What do you want? I want Atari. What do you want? Atari 7800. Atari's the name of the game, dudes. Check it out at these rad stores.
That was rad.
Was it?
Yeah, dude.
Okay.
Eat my shorts. You know?
Cowabunga.
Yeah.
I now want an Atari.
Yeah, of course you do. We all want an Atari. That it's weird to think that time like that even existed. You know, all soft, sideways baseball caps, although that's kind of now again, I guess. Bermuda shorts, things like that.
It just kind of brings you back to Timmy Mallet, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, but how is it?
You'd have to watch like 40 minutes of that bastard before you got 5 minutes of Transformers.
Why? Yeah. Why is it that Timmy Mallet? Okay, he looks like a fool, or he looked like a fool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But actually, when you think back now, he's spot on. He's spot on for like cool. Like he's just a hipster now. Yeah.
No,
just one of those
always
hipster
just
kids.
the massive tossle with stupid glass.
But that's what kids dress like now in Shoreditch.
No, they don't.
They do. That's what it's the hipster look.
I think you're chatting out your ass.
Cool. Well, Lord of the Rings. You played Lord of the Rings: War of the North.
Yes.
Who cares about Lord of the Rings anymore?
I don't know. It's a resurgence, isn't it, for Hobbit?
I suppose Electronic Arts is the answer.
The 15th. No, it's Warner Brothers.
Is it?
Yeah, it's published by Warner Brothers.
Okay, but Electronic Arts care about Lord of the Rings. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
They're big fans.
They're walking around dressed as hobbits
You're right.
in the
It
office.
is Warner Brothers. Yes, Hobbit, I guess. So, but this didn't. When did this come out? When did War of the North come out?
November, gone.
Okay.
So it's part of that last Christmas wave. So I'm just on mop-up duty now.
Okay.
It's an interesting game. I'm not very happy with it. I played about 4 hours last night till about 3 o'clock this morning. So I could talk about it on the show today. And when I went back to my save this morning, it was corrupt.
Nice.
Yeah.
Your 360 is dead and
It
just
is.
needs to be retired immediately.
It will be. Well, it's got to see me through 3 weeks.
Yeah. All right. It's just that's diabolically bad. All right. So what is it? What sort of game is it? I don't even know.
Yeah, it's a hard one to pin down into a genre. It's a kind of hack and slash loot fest. It's got RPG elements. So you initially start off in a village, and it intersects with the film. So you're not playing as the main fellowship, but you are a ranger, elf priestess, and dwarf. Yeah. And you get your initial mission from Aragon, when he's waiting for the hobbits to reach him from the Shire in that village. I can't remember what it's called. First film? Anyone?
I hate Lord of the Rings. I literally hate
I think
Anyone
it's
at
got
all.
a pony in the title.
They're in the Prancing Pony.
Oh, yeah.
It's the name of the inn, but I can't remember what the name of the town is. And from that, in that little kind of hub world, you can go around and get missions from villagers to solve micro problems. We're literally talking, you go and the first guy you talk to who's standing by a fireplace says that he wants someone to sell weapons in the town so that if the war spreads to the north from the south, they're ready to kind of take action. So you go off and talk to a dwarf who sells like spades and stuff and convince him to sell weapons to the town folk, which means you have to talk to him like 3 or 4 times in like sequence. And then you go back and tell the other guy, and that's that mission done, and you get a bit of experience for that. When you initially leave the town, you just go into a series of kind of corridors, basically, which are different environments, all seem to be relatively brown, and just hack and slash away. So you got X and Y, which are your standard attack and strong attack. You then hold left trigger, which gives you your targeting for your ranged attack, and right trigger to fight. I was playing as a ranger, so it's bow and arrow for long distance, and then a sword for melee. Between each section, so you get to the end of that section, you come to like a blue door which you can interact, so you can buy new bits of equipment and so on and so forth, or return to the town. But you can also switch your character at that point, so you can switch between the 3 different types, and they all level up and have perks and stuff. It's okay. I found the combat relatively compelling. It's nothing special. Dialogue's quite shit. Voice acting's poor, and the lip syncing is really, 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 really bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's kind of what you expect from Lord of the Rings games, isn't it?
I guess.
Shitty dialogue.
I don't expect much from Lord of the Rings games, to be honest.
They've knocked a few of them out.
I mean, I'd heard that this was all right, though. I think.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I don't know if I paid like $22.99 is pretty much its second-hand price.
I'm guessing
these
this sounds
days.
like there's co-op in this.
Yeah, it's online co-op, 3 players, but whether anyone's actually playing it, whether you can find the game, I think it'd be a thing of you would have to get talk 2 mates into buying the game to play with you.
Yeah, sure. Okay, not even interesting crossover stuff with regards to story. 'Cause this is like new story, right? This is just like, and we've made up some Lord of the Rings nonsense.
Basically, you as a ranger, you're receiving missions from Aragon. He's like your clan chief sort of thing.
Okay.
And no, it's not particularly interesting. I mean, some of the new characters look quite cool. The villain of the piece that you're out to take down looks pretty badass, but he's just a dude that's kind of rallying orcs for the Ring Wraiths and the Witch King. I couldn't really strongly recommend it.
It's one of those where it's that awkward situation of if you're making up a new story that ties into something else. By this, I'm thinking this game. I'm thinking Enter the Matrix.
Yeah.
Yeah, and any of those sort of properties, they don't always have to be games, but any property that sort of plugs a gap in an already existing franchise, normally a movie franchise. The problem with that is nothing that these guys do matters.
No.
It just doesn't matter, you know. And they always try and convince you, like, oh yeah, Ghost and Niobe are important. No, they're not. Like, you know, none of that really matters at all, and you know that going in. It's always like it's in my back of my brain at all times, thinking none of this really matters because what I would really like to be playing is the main adventure.
Yeah.
Except for obviously in
they've
this
already
case,
made
no
that.
way would I want to be playing that. So, yeah, I wasn't expecting much.
The Lord of the Rings game, The Third Age, which was back on PS2 and original Xbox.
Yes. Turn-based.
Yeah,
that
was pretty good. I enjoyed that.
Done in a similar way where you're kind of your representations of the main cast, but not the actual main cast.
Literally, your mission was to catch up with the main cast. So you're going everywhere that the main cast does, but 5 minutes later.
Nice. Like, did something happen? Are we late?
Yeah, but it does have some cool features, like you do end up fighting the Balrog with it's Gandalf in it, yeah.
It would look pretty much. Oh yeah, he is Gandalf because obviously the rest of the cast has moved on and he's still.
And it's like
fighting
after him and the Balrog are falling down, you bump into like the battle and they help out and things like this.
Once you complete, you can play as the Dark Forces as well.
I never finished it.
No, neither did I.
I do remember there being another Lord of the Rings game that was alright as well. Again, PS2 one. I don't think it's the same one you guys are talking about because I don't remember it being non-proper characters.
Yeah.
But it was like a Two Towers game maybe or something like that.
There was 3 main
Yeah.
games,
Okay.
which were Electronic Arts where they were like hack and slash.
And those were quite slick.
Kind of side-scrolling ones.
Yeah, and you'd be, I remember like fighting on some castle wall while catapults were firing stuff over and
Those ones are pretty cool. It's like Two Towers. And
I think I only
Return of
played
King.
the Fellowship of the Ring. I don't think I played the other two.
The Fellowship of the Ring was nothing like the other two.
Yeah, I think it was Two Towers that was kind of the exciting one.
Right.
But I don't know. I hate Lord of the Rings. I'm bored of the rings.
Yeah.
You know, it's just fancy nonsense.
But I'm sure we're going to see a massive spate of Hobbit-based games now.
Yeah.
There was, again, on Xbox, there
for
was
10
Hobbit,
years.
wasn't there?
Yeah, that was terrible as well. Of course,
But
it's the Lego Lord of the Rings game turning up at some
Yeah,
point.
that's true. But that's maybe not as bad.
No.
That's fine.
Well,
but,
unless you
but now,
click, 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 click.
yeah. But now that Hobbit's a trilogy, we're going to see.
Is it a trilogy now?
Yeah.
I thought it was only
No,
2 films.
It's
Is it?
three films.
Is it extended out into 3 films
Yeah.
now? Yeah.
So we'll be seeing a lot of stuff like that. Which always sucks. You know, it's like I'm glad Harry Potter's gone. You know. All right. Well, another game we played then. We all played this demo. Weird demo came out of nowhere, and I didn't know what this demo was called. I had confusions with this name. Technically, the full name is Damage Inc. Pacific Squadron World War II.
Right.
But I think it was labelled as just Pacific Squadron World War II in the Xbox dashboard.
Right.
But the title screen clearly says Damage Inc. and everything
Yeah.
else is Damage Inc. I don't know what Damage Inc. is. You know, sounds like a bad wrestling tag team. And this was just your standard World War II dogfighting shooter, wasn't it?
Yeah, not very good at all.
In planes. No, very weird. It was just...
Well, the models are pretty crappy.
Everything about it
even like
looks terrible.
the main planes that you're picking, the models
yeah,
are
they
pretty
look,
shitty.
They look... And it's published by Mad Cats, which is
Yeah,
kind of odd.
it's very weird.
I don't know when they started going. Yeah, well, they probably just had you got $5,000 left over. sure, we'll put that out. Why not? Here's a free gaming headset. So yeah, it was. It was. There's nothing special about this at all. If you imagine planes fighting in the sky, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
The demo was really long. You escort some bombers somewhere. You bomb some small poor islands.
Yeah, you're left in an aeroplane to take out AA guns. That's great, thanks.
Exactly.
Bob, you go and take out those big guns that shoot down aeroplanes, will you? Yeah, no worries. Just keep the other planes off me.
Sure, I'll fight that bit of paper with my rock. Yeah, that's all a bit odd. But there was 2 things I noticed. One, it was really easy. I felt like I was in no real danger at all, apart from myself. And 2, the enemy planes seem to just fly into me a lot.
They also seem to just fly around in circles. They don't when you see them on the horizon, they're not really attacking other planes. It doesn't.
They're just
appear.
waiting for you to get there.
Yeah, it just seems like they fly around in circles and attack
I
anything
think
that
that's
comes
an
into their
issue.
radius.
Thinking about it, I think that's an issue with a lot of flying games. Of sort of like, whenever you're like, okay, so you meet them in the sky, they're like, "Oh, we got boys up ahead," and you're like, okay, got that, I'm off. And then, and presumably in that garbled message, he said they're doing something, right? Like whoever it is you're fighting are going to fly somewhere and bomb something or do something. And they never are. They're just like in the sky, and they're like, well, they're just waiting for a fight.
I don't know. In my experience, a lot of airplane games, there is a time limit with the AA guns. When you're taking out the AA guns, I failed several times through not taking them out fast enough, just through being incompetent and flying into the ground and stuff.
It all depends on the games as well, because IL-2 Sturmovik, which is a World War II plane game, they actually do have targets, so they bomb like airfields and things like this.
Okay.
So it's got a reasonable AI behind it.
But everything about this is cheap and nasty.
Yeah.
And the demo, although long, I did think it was long. I did finish it, which was quite a task. It's just naff. You could choose a couple of different planes, but I'm presumably they're just planes.
If you're excited for this game, and it probably is going to come out at like $24.99.
Yeah.
I think you'd be hard pressed to fucking find it in the
I was going to
first
say,
place.
if you're excited about this game, I don't know how you became that, unless you are, a person that works at American.
Just lived in a cardboard box for the last 25 years, and it's the first thing you've seen.
So-
Like, wow, this game looks awesome.
So I found that like a little bit.
The one thing I did like about it is that if you're attacking an aeroplane side on, so the aeroplane's moving across your view, it gives you a nice leader. It's got a little red dot ahead of the plane, so it shows you where to shoot to hit that plane in flight.
But that's why I mean it was quite easy, because you just try and relax.
as long as that your retinal's red, you're gonna.
I got a good sense of hitting them. I liked the bullets, the sound of and you're like, fuck, I'm just churning through this thing, and they go down quite easily.
Yeah, you're talking like 6 bullets or something.
Yeah,
they blow up,
and 6 like random bullets. That shouldn't technically take down a plane, but
yeah, it's crap. I'm not.
Made me realise how long it's been since I've played any game sort of like that, though.
Yeah,
and for good reason, I think. Before we go finish off on the games we've been playing there, I just want to mention a couple of others. One was I played, for some reason, for my sins, I played Clive Barker's Jericho. Like massive blast from the past. Like I don't know when that game came out, 5 years ago maybe.
It's sold.
Codemasters shooter that I just found it in my weird story anyway. Found it in my parents' house. Okay, it was just there in a drawer. A copy of Clive Barker's Jericho. Not with the 360 games that my dad has. Not my brothers or anything like that. It was just in the house, just there. I don't know. So I thought, well, I'll give that a go. And I vaguely remember thinking in my brain, Clive Barker's Jericho. That people said that was all right.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it was Legendary. It was supposed to be all right.
I see. I'm definitely can confirm that Legendary is garbage.
Right.
But it might have been
out of the two then, maybe.
But Clive Barker's Jericho, anyway, not a lot to say about it apart from it's fucking terrible. It's a shooter. Have you played this, Joe?
I remember playing the demo and just thinking, what the fuck is this supposed to be?
It's really strange in that you play as, like, it starts off and you go through the first level and you're this like new recruit to a weird supernatural division of badasses. And you're like, I got used to this character. I got used to the weapons. They all have different weapons and stuff. And I got used to him. And then he dies at the beginning of the first level. And then you're like, oh, man, really? Like, that kind of blows. And then he passes his soul or whatever into one of the other characters. And they were like, what the fuck just happened? And you're like, what the fuck just happened? And he's like, what the fuck is happening? And then you're them.
Right.
Like with two voices in your head. And then you find out as that next level progresses, you can just choose between all the characters. There's like 6 different characters. And you can flick on the fly, almost Battlefield-like. Battlefield Modern Combat?
Yeah, Battlefield 2 Modern Combat done that, yeah.
Almost like that. And they've all got slightly different weapons. One's got a samurai sword, one's got a rocket launcher, one's got a sniper, things like that. And it's terrible. It's just weird. It's just like, just looks janky. Everything is bland as hell. It's got the worst title screen in the world. The title screen is like, to describe it as accurately as possible and to get across how unpleasant it sort of is, it looks like a vagina covered in cobwebs that's been ripped open by a child eating a Happy Meal or something.
It's quite the image.
It's just really like nasty, fleshy wound spread out, and it's horrible. So, but yeah, so just a really nasty game. I'm not into Clive Barker stuff at all. Everything has that sort of Hellraiser look to it.
Yeah.
But the mechanics were kind of strange. Every weapon has two, like primary fire and secondary fire, and which is fine. That's nothing, alien.
Yeah.
But to reload that, it means that you press the X button to reload, and then press the X button again to reload the other part. And it's like I can't reload the second part
until you've reloaded.
Until I've reloaded the first part, unless my first part is full, and it's just I don't know. Codemasters make great racing games. That's what I learned from Clive Barker's Jericho, is that Codemasters make great racing games. There's been a bit of news again this week. We've been trying to keep an eye on stuff that's probably worth bringing up. First of all, DayZ. Still sounds wrong, doesn't it? Every time. Daisy. DayZ, the zombie killathon add-on for Arma 2. That we all have been psyched about in the past. It's getting its own standalone game.
It was inevitable, really.
It was, yeah, it always was. But that's good news.
Yes.
Because
it'll be more focused.
Yeah, and complete, not a sort of buggy mess, which is kind of what it is now. But I'm really psyched for that, and I want to believe in my heart of hearts that this is the first step to it coming out on a console.
Good luck with that.
But yeah, it's never gonna, is it? I just hope someone copies the idea and makes that on a console. Because I do want that game.
Yeah, I'd play the shit out of that game.
Yeah, but you probably, to be fair, you probably play and enjoy Arma 2 quite a lot.
Yeah, I really actually want to play Arma 2, but, my PC won't run it.
Well, step up. Step up to the streets. Step up 3.
Step Up Miami is the new one.
This is Step Up Miami. Yeah,
Miami Heat or something.
Step Up Miami Heat then, Joe. So that's pretty cool news. I'm down with that.
It means more YouTube videos.
Yeah, more Let's Play YouTube videos. Okay. Remember the console, that weird Android console that was coming out for $99 or whatever?
Yes.
And it was called the Ooh Yeah. Remember that?
Yeah.
The Ooh Yeah. It had a Kickstarter. The Kickstarter's done. It's funded. It's complete. It's coming. They asked for $950,000. They ended with just under $8.6 million. That's a lot of money.
So they're just going to be giving them away years then?
No.
They don't need the money.
Well, I think a lot of people have bought them. Yeah, no, they don't need the money, but that's not.
They're just going to be on a big party bus,
think-
driving down the street, chucking them off the top.
I think $8.5 million isn't that much money. It's like it's a lot of money, but in
In
terms of
comparison
launching,
to 900,000, it is.
yeah, true. But in comparison to what, say, a 360 or another console has made, it's only a fraction. So I think they want to make more. But yeah, that's cool. I mean, hopefully this means it'll exist and happen at some point. They've still got to get there, yeah. But what this does prove, at least, is that there's a lot of people that want it.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people that were willing enough to go, yeah, I'll put some money down, or I'll support this. I like the idea of what you're doing. Yes, give it to me. And there've been announcements from it. They've got like Xbox Media Connect will be like launching with it, and various other streaming video services and stuff,
Right.
which is kind of cool. I'm kind of psyched for it. People that backed a certain amount are getting a special brown version of it. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Nice.
When people that done like 14,000 or something, they had a really special one for that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I think this was less than that. I think there was like, it was just sort of, you had your base model for $99, and then like one of it was just like a brown version. But you're probably right. There is like a super duper,
Yeah.
crazy. You've given us way more money than you were supposed to, sort of thing. We might as well give you
A diamond encrusted one back.
Yeah, or at least just 12 normal ones. So yeah, if you want a brown Ouya, I don't think you can get it now, but you could have done.
They are planning to sell them separately, aren't they? The old Ouyas.
Yeah, It's not. This isn't the only way of getting it, but I don't know if you'll be able to get any of the limited edition
You
stuff.
might be able
no
to get a
problem.
brown one off of eBay in 10 years.
Yeah, or 2, or 1, but who knows? Yeah, so that was interesting. Scott Pilgrim, remember the game Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
I still play it occasionally.
I bought it on PS3. You bought it on 360.
I did.
What was the one thing that was criminally missing from that game?
Online multiplayer.
Yeah, it was. Well, guess what's happening?
It's getting online multiplayer.
Yes, exactly. They announced it to mark the year anniversary of the game, I think, coming out. They're adding DLC to that game, which is a new story pack thing, isn't it?
Okay.
Called I can't remember what it's called.
William Wallace, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Something about Wallace.
William Wallace?
Isn't he William Wallace?
William Wallace was the guy from Braveheart.
Oh, was he?
Can't take his freedom. You know?
So what's Wallace's first or
Does he
surname?
even have a first
I don't
name?
know.
They always just call him Wallace.
They've all got double
Yeah,
barrel
well, it's
names.
Wallace anyway. It is Wallace, right? It's a piece of DLC focused around Wallace, but also adds online co-op.
I want William Wallace.
It's not William Wallace.
I want him with his little blue and white
So the whole game
pixelated
is going to
face.
be multiplayer.
Yeah,
online.
there'll be the exactly what you wanted. You know, the 4-player co-op online. Brilliant. I think it's going to be. It's priced. This isn't free DLC.
No.
You know, but it's cool.
It actually makes me want to buy it because that was the only reason I didn't buy it originally was just because I couldn't play it online with other people.
Standalone, it's still an amazing game.
Yeah, it's still very good. It's very
I've
slick.
completed it
very
with
nice.
literally all characters, including Nice Chews DLC.
Well, this will add stuff to it. And I'll get it on 360 because of this. I think.
Yeah,
I think I'd be
multiplayer.
happy to play that because like I say, it was cool even without William Wallace, which is awesome.
Freedom.
The other thing, then there was an Xbox. This was kind of weird. An Xbox 720. I hate calling it that. But what else we got? The Xbox 720 / Durango dev kit, right? For making your new 360 experiences, or the next console experiences, popped up on eBay. So about a week ago, there was a guy that released an image from the dev kit, a debug image of Kinect, of a new version of Kinect, right?
Yeah.
Kinect 2.0. And it was kind of incredible. It had sort of multiple people in it, and it showed all finger definition, and just looked like, damn, this thing sounds cool. You know, there's a lot of stories of Kinect have come out, like a potential mobile version doesn't have to be under your TV all the time,
Right.
and a lot of stories from this one particular guy going, by the way, Kinect's about to blow you away. Anyway, this same dude then puts up for sale on eBay one apparently of his dev kits. Of a Xbox 720 dev kit. And it sells. It doesn't get pulled or anything like that. It sells. It sells for $20,000. Just one picture, PC tower case, no information whatsoever.
You got to wonder, like, surely if you've got 20 grand sitting around, you could set yourself up as a sort of indie studio anyway, and just ask Microsoft for a dev
I
kit.
don't know if you'd get one now. I don't know if now's the time to be doing it because like they go, well, you're just going to leak everything. I think you'd have to have it. I think they're only going out to sort of much more respected people than that. But I see your point.
But surely then he must either work for a very large corporation that's got multiple dev kits sitting around that he can nick one and flog it on eBay.
Well, what we don't know is we don't know who owns it. We don't know. I don't know what the deal is. I'm not sure that Microsoft just go, here, have a dev kit and lend it to you. You know, it may be that it was his.
Right.
It's also very vague.
But still, there must be constraints. You can't just get a dev kit and then give it to Sony.
No, sure.
Or you can't just get a dev kit and sell it on fucking eBay with no ramifications. How is that possible?
But that's what's happened. That is what's happened.
Surely that's on the verge
like,
of industrial espionage.
I don't know. It's what's happened. It's sold. It's sold. He's on Twitter. You can follow him on Twitter. His username is at SuperDAE.
Oh, you grass.
Okay, follow him on Twitter. He's on there talking about it all the time. He wants to buy a car.
It's weird.
So go and check that out. I don't know why, but it's just one of those things that happened.
It's just really weird.
You know, bear in mind at this point, dev kits they are just PCs. It's just a PC in a box. You know, the Xbox 360 dev kits were just Power Macs.
Yeah, but it's of a specific setup, surely.
Yeah, but we don't know anything more than that. We just know there's a listing saying it's a dev kit and a picture of a thing. It doesn't show anything else.
I guess the hardware is almost borderline irrelevant. It's going to be about what software is installed on that.
I guess to a degree. I mean, he was just saying, I don't expect anyone to buy it who doesn't know what it is.
Yeah.
You know? So, and your sort of get out clause in that whole thing is you don't say too much, do you? You don't go... Like, if I tell you you're buying something that you're not buying, then you screw me. But if I tell you you're buying something and it is that, you're buying a tower case. Buying a tower PC case. I don't know. It's weird. But this guy seems to be reputable with his leaks. So, who knows? But bizarre. I find it absolutely balmy that the eBay listing was completed. It didn't complete, actually. He finished it early. But it didn't... it wasn't pulled or anything. Just nuts.
It is very strange.
You could have had one.
And do what with it?
I don't know. Browse the web.
play DayZ.
Yeah, exactly.
It's probably just Microsoft buying it.
Yeah.
It's like
Get that machine back here now. Yeah, maybe. Who knows? So that's almost all my news. The only other bit of news then is Summer of Arcades obviously happened this year. It's been a bit of a damp squib. Yeah, it's not been great. Dust comes out next week.
Yeah.
But apart from that, it's not been particularly awesome yet.
No, Dust looks like the most interesting thing, which they've kind of held back.
Yeah, but Summer of Arcade overall, when you compare it to other years, has been the weakest by far.
Yeah.
When you consider, Explosion Mans and Minecraft, no, not Minecraft, but Trials and Shadow Complex were from previous years and stuff.
And Bastion.
Yeah, and this has kind of been a bit lame. So what we're coming up again is the latest Indie Game Uprising. Indie Game Uprising 3 is the one that's happening this year, and it's basically a summer of arcade for indie games.
Yeah, it's kind of the autumn.
Yeah, the autumn of
indie. That's what we're going to call it.
Yeah, and it's cool. It's run by a bunch of dudes from the indie community, and what it is it's 9 games, Xbox Live indie games, coming out from the September 10th until the 20th of September. So there's a 2-day break over a weekend, but it's every day there's a game coming. And these look awesome. These have been curated and taken from the community pool, and these are the best games that are being pushed by this Indie Game Uprising. And it's just like Summer of Arcade. Exactly the same premise, really. They look wicked.
Some of them look...
They've just announced it.
Fascinating.
Some of them look great. Die Hard Dungeon looks really
very
cool
slick.
and slick, like a dungeon crawly little RPG thing.
Yeah, top-down thing.
City Tuesday is the one I'm looking forward to.
That's amazing.
Sounds so good.
Yeah, I really like the idea of it. It's something like you're a dude that's constantly reliving the last 5 minutes of a city before a terrorist attack.
Yeah, I think you guys in the break referenced Source Code with Jake.
Yeah, it's kind of what it reminds us. But it's got that cool visual style of like the early Aperture Science ads for Portal and stuff,
the Stickman 2D.
Yeah,
kind of
like warning
flash.
signs and roadwork signs and things like that. So that kind of looks cool. And there's some great games in there. It looks mental. I'm more excited for this than I am Summer of Arcade.
Yeah, I mean Pixel again. It looks kind of like Portal, but done in that kind of cell shaded, but it's not even cell shaded. It's like flat textured 3D.
Yeah, like a clinical sort of look.
Yeah, visual,
like a 3D puzzle game.
Do like the look of that.
Yeah, and there's like Xenominer, a thing which is like which looks like Minecraft crossed with Descent. Yeah, which actually seems to really sort of push my buttons. So I'm kind of down for that. You can go and check all this stuff out at indiegameuprising.com. I think it's indiegame-uprising.com.
Right.
For all the details. Prices haven't been seen yet, but I
think you're probably looking $240 a pop. These look like the high end of the
Yeah, I
indie
guess
spectrum.
I don't know how that's controlled. I think it's controlled by the developer themselves, isn't it?
Right.
So I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure some of them will be 80 points, but I'm going to be picking these up anyway. I think they look.
A couple of them
they
I'm
look
definitely
cool.
going to jump on.
You can get the full dates and everything, obviously, from Indie Game Uprising,
What is it?
indie-uprising.com,
It
or
kicks off
from our
the-
website, Things We Played on Net.
Kicks off 10th of September.
10th of September, yeah, that's when it all starts, and we'll be covering them one every day. That's kind of awesome. It's also great that they're doing it because indie games get a rough deal.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to really search to find them on the dashboard, and there's no promotion for any of that stuff.
Very
you know?
little, yeah.
And yeah, okay, there's a lot of crap that comes out, but there are some good games. There are some good games there as well that just don't get the light of day. And okay, every now and then there's a game that's would have been, I think, worthy of an arcade game.
Yeah, certainly.
You just have to work your way through the dirt to find the diamond inside.
Exactly, and this is, there's a bunch of guys from Indie Game Uprising that have done that for us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this should be cool. It's nice to think that there's 9 new games coming out that are going to be really cheap that we can play.
Yep.
So, Gateways, that was the other one that looks kind of interesting with like weird, just
Visual effect.
yeah. Check out the trailer. You can see it on our website, thingsweplayed.net, or indiegame-uprising.com for more details. It looks pretty damn swish. And all power to those guys. Educating Joe?
Aye.
Sounds about right.
Once upon a time, there was a boy named Joe. He didn't play many video games as a child. He was too busy out running and jumping through fields, perhaps stealing apples. But then one day, he found himself inexplicably on a video game podcast, and 2 guys, Mike and Shaun, vowed to take him back through time to play the games he missed. This is Educating Joe.
All right. Educating that Joe. That there Joe. UN Squadron. You chose this one, Shaun.
I did, yes.
Why? First of all?
It was an old favourite.
Joe? Well, let's explain this. First of all, side-scrolling shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, think R-Type, and you're on the right path.
Sort of.
But you're planes.
Yeah.
You're not spaceships.
No.
No. You're planes. And it's... Yeah, that's it. Side-scrolling. Capcom. R-Type. Tell me more. Joe, what do you think?
It looked very good. It had a very nice look about it.
I think it does, yeah. I think it did multi-tier scrolling really well, didn't it?
It's a good-looking game, yeah, certainly. I mean, it's quite old. What is this? It's 1989 or 91, depending on where you are. But yeah, that's old, man.
Yeah.
We're talking a long time ago.
Almost as old as me.
When were you born, Joe?
88.
88. So you've got one up on UN Squadron. So yeah, it's it's kind of cool. I think what was different about this game from other stuff is that it was side-scrolling for a start, because most plane-based things like 1942 were vertical scrollers. Yeah. And this was at least a little bit different. You have like a character select screen at the beginning, so you can choose different planes when you go in.
3, yeah.
Yeah, you can be Shin Kazama, who flies an F-20 Tiger Shark. Did you use that, Joe?
I played the first character, but there are different planes that you can buy after you select a character.
Or you could play as Mickey Simon. He plays an F-14 Tomcat. Did you play as that one, Joe? No. What about Greg Gates and an A-10 Thunderbolt?
No, I didn't.
You didn't. Are you playing the right game, Joe?
Yeah, I did.
It's fine.
But no, it's those other planes you can buy separately.
Yes, so it's got like a shop system, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where you
Yeah.
can buy weapons and new planes to use in the game, which is kind of cool. Yeah, do you like these sorts of games? How do you feel about shmups? Shmups. As
I'm
they're
not a
called by
big
the
fan of
cool kids.
scrolling shooters. I just find it weird just moving a vehicle or a person around on the screen and just waiting for the screen to come and enemies appear. But yeah, it's very well presented, this game. I do like the way it works. So you start off with the map, and from there you pick the mission you want to do. So you can either do one of the preset missions, which are you're fighting against ground and air vehicles, or it has the little they're like random encounters.
Yeah.
They're not, but you know. So there's
Yeah.
bombers.
I think the random encounters primarily are to gain you more money so you can buy things to complete the big missions.
You do
aren't they?
have to do them as well, because there's points where they'll get to your base and then you are forced to do it yourself to fight them off. But you can just, if they're getting close, you can just select them. So there's air ones where you're just fighting bombers and planes in the air. You have ones where you have to attack ground vehicles, but which is like really hard unless you have a ground attack vehicle, because it moves very quickly, the screen.
Yeah.
So it's very hard because there's 2 rocks either side, so you can't go all the way down until you've gone past the rock. So it's really hard to hit the targets without a bomb or something.
Yeah, I remember when I used to play it, it's certain times you'd select a mission, kind of going in blind and not really knowing what you need in terms of equipment, and then fail it and then have to go back and do it again, but then you buy the bombs that are required, like your ground striking bombs and stuff.
I always really like the way that actually any weapons that you've bought, if you don't use them, get converted back into cash at the end of a level.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah,
It's kind of
yeah.
like, no, don't worry, we're not wasting anything. Recycle
that
Oh,
ammo.
you didn't need that. All right, okay, fine.
Yeah, I do like the way they run the levels as well. So you have 3 lives, and if you lose those, you get to continue. But it continually racks up the money you'd earn through your try of that level. So it all counts towards getting new bombs and planes and all of that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think more than anything, one of the reasons that it's slightly more forgiving than other games is the fact that you've got an energy bar anyway.
Yeah.
You know, that's quite unusual. Normally in these sorts of games, it's one hit, you're dead, or one hit, shield's gone, one hit, then dead. With this, you've actually got a full-on energy bar that will slowly go down, which allows you to take risks that you're like, well, it doesn't matter if I know I'm going to get hit, but it doesn't matter if I get hit because I can take that in order to get closer or shoot something, or you know, that is slightly cool. Slightly cool.
I like the way that it levels up your vehicles as well whilst you're playing.
Yeah.
And it doesn't just the one you're using; it levels them all up. But they have a max level of like 5.
Did you do any boss fights?
Yeah, there's one at the end of every mission. So on the first one, it's the giant tank.
The missile tank.
Yeah, and I done like the bomber air encounter. So you're fighting a giant sort of. It's like an F-117.
Yeah.
What? Like a stealth bomber?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's
Are they
not
called F-117s?
Yeah, well, it's not the F-117. It's the slimmer, slightly rounder version of it, and I can't remember what it's called.
Okay.
A stealth bomber would have been descriptive enough there.
Yeah, I know,
Thank you,
but
Jim.
it's just F-117 popped into my head. I do find it's very hard to get money to buy new vehicles as well, because they're very, very expensive on that.
Yeah.
So it was like after, 3 or 4 missions plus some random encounters, I finally got enough to buy like the second upgrade plane.
It's because it wants you to play for more than like half an hour.
Yeah, I played it for about an hour, but it was taking so
More
long.
than an hour.
Yeah, it's like it wants you to get 1 million credits to get the best plane. It was like that'd just take forever.
No, but yeah, I think you're right, because like the absolute best plane in the game is almost impossible to get throughout a playthrough of the game.
Yeah.
You just have to do so much, and you earn so much in order to just get enough to just buy it, which kind of sucks a little bit, really. Because it'd be nice if you could just choose these planes from the get go.
Yeah.
I do think sometimes as well, whilst playing a level, you do just end up getting mobbed by planes and things like this. So it's very hard to move and shoot whilst dodging bits and pieces that are fired at you. It does become very chaotic, whereas most of them, it's very easy to see patterns in what they're doing and where they're going. On this, it's just all over the shot. And especially with the ground vehicles, which are just so hard to actually get down low enough to shoot, whilst dodging missiles and bits and pieces like that, it does sort of overwhelm you sometimes with the sheer amount that it throws at you at certain points.
But that's the importance of being strategical and purchasing the necessary equipment for your mission.
I think I just started purchasing the one bomb for every mission, which is just it fires it in the air and it just shoots out loads of lasers and destroys everything
it's a
on
smart
screen.
bomb, yeah.
Yeah, but you could only hold one of them, which I thought was a
You're
bit...
supposed to save them for bosses. Traditionally.
I like these sorts of games. I think they're cool. I think they're cool in multiplayer.
Yeah, I'd say it'd be fun with 2 planes and it'd be a lot easier than it is with just the one. But
yeah. But it's again, it's not something. Outside of Cave doing their shooters these days, who does games like this now? No one.
Yeah,
don't get a lot
there's
of
couple
scrolling
of
stuff.
Strange Japanese ones released every now and again, like Death Smiles and stuff.
Yeah. So it is just Cave and Treasure that just seem to put them out. But yeah, things like Dodonpachi and what else, Excluded 2 and stuff. So it's kind of a bit of a dying breed, I guess.
Yeah.
Which in itself makes it interesting, but it doesn't push any buttons for you, Joe.
not really, no.
Even after going to the Eastbourne Air Show.
Yeah, no.
Even after watching Battleship.
Yeah. No.
No, they've never really appealed to me.
Did you
Scrolling
ask
shooters.
any of the people at the air show about power-ups and any of their experiences with bosses and stuff?
No, I didn't.
Mr. Trick. All right, you gonna play it again?
No.
No, you won't. No, I didn't really like this game, to be honest. I'm not a massive fan of UN Squadron.
I came late to the party. A lot of people in my school had played it extensively before I'd even kind of heard of it. I think it was a couple of mates around that time had import version of it. that I started playing it and got really addicted to it. But it might have been one of those things that you needed to be there at the time to really appreciate it in comparison to what else was on the market.
Yeah, I just don't think I played nowhere near as many as you guys must have, and they just never really stuck with me or had any appeal.
Yeah, well, it gets to a point they can be frustrating, and there's a certain amount of skill. Like, it's moved into that sort of more skill-based stuff like Geometry Wars things, which is,
Yeah.
you know, I suppose the twin-stick shooter is sort of part of the evolution of these
Yeah.
sorts of games. But yeah, there's not seemingly much place for them at the masses. These are games that came out largely because they were restricted by the platform they were on.
Yeah.
This was a way of making an epic flying game. You know, by just scrolling the background and doing stuff like that, which you couldn't really easily do. We couldn't go 3D. So, yeah, I mean, I have a soft spot for them, but I don't necessarily enjoy playing these games so much.
Yeah.
And certainly not in the arcade.
No,
it's-
that's where it's just going to eat your money. In the
Yeah,
arcade,
exactly.
isn't it?
It's just, it's crazy. So, yeah,
That's you in Squadron.
let's give you a new game, Joe.
What are we going with?
Well, we were up in the air because initially we were thinking Rock and Roll Racing. Old Blizzard game. Awesome music, Super Nintendo, isometric racing. And then Shaun said Alien 3. And that was Activision, I think. Probe Entertainment, so published by Activision, yeah. For the SNES again.
And we put the option to you, Joe.
Yeah.
And you was completely indifferent. You was like, I don't know, I'll do whatever you tell me.
Well, the whole point of
Which
education.
is so not true, because life would be so much easier if you just did everything we told you.
Yeah, but the whole point of educating Joe is you tell me what to play. Games that were, you know, games that you liked in the past. So it's what you think I should play. I
Right.
shouldn't really have a choice in this.
But the conversation we had earlier, me and Mike both came to the conclusion that this, Alien 3, is a spectacular game in many respects, but neither of us liked it.
Yeah, that's the downside. That's the downside. Alien 3, well, I have bad memories of it for some reason. Yeah, it's a great game.
And like I was saying earlier, I think it's because this is truly where survival horror began. Fuck Resident Evil. Resident Evil didn't start this genre. This game started it. You're just conserving
I'm
ammo.
not sure I share that.
You're
statement,
you're conserving ammo so much in this game.
Yeah, that's true.
Especially flamethrower ammo. Flamethrower ammo is just like that's all you want all of the time, and you never have it.
yeah.
We're going to do Alien 3. Let's just do it. Otherwise, we're already talking about it too much. Alien 3, Joe. Super Nintendo version. You can play the Mega Drive version if you really want. But
You can play the NES version if you really
no,
want.
you can't. It's got, but yeah, we'll be back in 7 days' time to talk about Alien 3. It is good, but I just remember having it being a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Great.
Okay, so that was Educating Joe. That's it. That's a show. That's us. We are done. We normally have a competition around this time. We had a competition last week. It was a triple rollover. You could have won Bus and Cable Car Simulator San Francisco, Ski Region Simulator, Police Simulator, and London Underground Simulator. And do you know what? You didn't. You didn't win it. We still got those games. No one guessed correctly that episode 29 was episode 29. That was how easy we were making it. So we've come to the conclusion that you don't want these games. And that hurts me, and it hurts Shaun, and it hurts Joe. But above all else, it hurts our good friends at Excalibur Publishing. So, we're not going to have a competition this week. We're going to figure something else to do. We've still got some good goodies to give away. But I'm thinking, guys, and come with me on this, we send these games back to Excalibur Publishing.
Right.
Yeah?
And
With a note.
saying no one wants them.
No one wants no one wants
your
them.
games.
Yeah.
We can't give them away.
We're in blood. And when I say send it back, I say we elastic band the games to a brick.
Or a horse's head.
And go, we just a note that says simulate this. No, I'm just apologise. They say sorry, but we've done some market research and no one wants your games, even if they are free. If you would still like to win the last collection of our wonderful games from our good friends at Excalibur Publishing, just write to us. Write to us. The email address thingsweplay@gmail.com and tell us why you should have these games. What I'm not telling you now is that there's the 4 games I've already mentioned, and a couple of others as well that I'm not gonna mention. But they're simulators, and I'm gonna keep them secret. So this is potluck. If you want these games, email us. Tell us why you should have these games. I'm not gonna say fairer than that. I'm not gonna push them any harder. You know, but they are great games. Just ask our good friends, Excalibur Publishing.
At this point, I must stress simply the word "because" will probably get you these games.
Yeah,
Just sending an email with the name and address will get you these games.
that's true. Except for now, because both of those ideas have now come out from us. I'll know that it's Shaun and Joe that sent those emails, and you won't get those
new
games.
email addresses.
See, they're trying to play the system here. You both want the games, you know? Guys, just ask, you can borrow them. So yeah, email us at thingsweplay@gmail.com. Do that anyway, it's just nice to hear from you. You can also contact us on Twitter at thingsweplay, and go to the website, thingsweplay.net, where you'll find information about Indie Game Uprising and various other nonsense that comes out. We're going to see you in 7 days' time. There's games coming out. Sleeping Dogs next week.
Looking forward to it.
The Expendables.
Joe's looking forward to it.
So excited!
Yeah, see, that comes
Just-
out on
just
Friday.
Joe,
There's got to be some other stuff coming out as well. Well, Dust and Elysian Tale.
Yes.
That's tomorrow.
Yes.
So,
Also looking forward to it.
plenty of games coming out, plenty to try. So we will see you in 7 days' time for more fantastic gaming chat. I've been Mike Goldman. You've been brilliant.
Yes, I have.
Yeah. You've been alright, Joe.
Cheers. You
You gonna say bye or?
I was waiting for Shaun because Shaun never joined and goes first, but goodbye.
Bye.